What's up everyone, I'm Stephen Harrell, Tiny House Listings, and today I want to share with you what I think is the best tiny house off-grid generator. Maybe the best off-grid generator, period. Got all my dad's kitty cats here. Sunny, say everybody hey. My dad has these cats out here to control the bugs. Anyways, if you live in a tiny house, or if you live off-grid tiny house, or off-grid regardless, from time to time you're going to need a generator to top off your batteries. And the reason that is because even if you've invested heavily in an off-grid setup and you have tons of batteries, tons of solar, there's a good chance sometime in the year you're going to start running low. And most batteries, if they're not lithium, you do not want them to go below 50%. That's technical. We can get into that in another time. For example, the last 12 days here in a row, 11 or 12 days, it's been rainy and there's been hardly no sun, maybe a couple hour here or there. So there's no way my father could have a setup big enough to run 12 days with the kind of energy that he uses without a generator to top off the batteries, or to just use straight away without even using the batteries. A lot of times he does both. He'll run his house while also charging the batteries in his solar setup. So I'm going to share with you the generator that he uses that I picked out for him. I did a lot of research and I think this is probably the best one. So if you're living off grid, you should check this one out and give it serious consideration. All right, this is a 2,000 watt generator by a company called WIN, WN, and this thing cranks out 2,000 watts, and I think it surges more. And as you can see, it's very, very light. I think it weighs 40 pounds. And the one thing that I like about it that is an inverter, and that means that this is producing AC current for you. And a typical generator is just like basically a lawnmower engine that just cranks out power. The good thing about this one, it has onboard circuitry that monitors the output, the waves, the sound waves, and the electricity, and cleans it up and makes sure it's perfect for sensitive electronics, like even your mini split unit, charging your smartphones, laptops, TVs, basically the kind of electronics that all of us have these days. And people who live off grid are no exception. They have the same types of appliances because they want to live comfortably, and you know, more than likely you'll have smartphones and things like that. Doing in there, huh? What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? What are you doing, kitty? One thing that I really love about this generator is that it has an eco mode, which makes this thing super efficient. It can run, I think it's 14 or 15 hours on a single gallon of gas. The reason is, if you are using a small amount of electricity under 1,000, you can put this thing in eco mode and it'll idle much lower and save you, I can't remember the exact percentage of gasoline, but it's like 20 or 30%, maybe more. And if you use your generator a lot, that can add up to a pretty good cost savings. There's two other generators in the same category as the WIN that I would consider. It would be the one by Yamaha, the 2000, and also the Honda. And this one, in terms of reliability, I'd say is right there with the Honda and Yamaha. The difference is it's between 2 and 3 times cheaper. Another thing is, on the front, there's DC outlets, there's USB outlets, there's parallel operation, grounds. And the parallel operation is, I know some of you are thinking 2,000 watts, that wouldn't be enough to run my system when I'm not using my solar setup. And that's true, it probably would be, but you can, this one has an adapter if you want to run parallel. So you can put another one of these right beside it, buy the parallel kit, and you'll have 4,000 watts. Top, there's an easy to read gas gauge. And right beside it, if you ever need to change the spark plug, it's super simple. You pop this off, push the ratchet down, take out the spark plug, and put a new one in. If you want to add new oil, you just twist this, pull it down, and then that gives you access to the oil. Yeah, so this is the 30 amp cable that comes from the tiny house, and then you just put a 110 adapter on it. Everything in this particular tiny house runs up a 110. The mini split, microwave, washer and dryer, everything. So then you just plug it straight into the 110 outlet there. Super simple. So when the generator is running, you just simply, this automatically cuts on. It's a battery charger that we have that connects directly into the battery bank for the tiny house, and then it just gets to work charging. Another reason I like this generator is because literally every time, no matter what, even if you haven't used it in a while, it's always first pull. The one and only beef that I have with this generator is that it does not have a fuel extender. If you're familiar with the Honda inverter generators, they have a fuel extender where you can put a 20-gallon huge tank worth of gas, and it'll literally, the generator will siphon gas from the tank into the generator itself. So you could run the generator theoretically for days and days and days without having to touch it. This one easily runs overnight without having to refill, so I don't think this is as big of an issue. But I have seen on YouTube where people have figured out a way to do-it-yourself kits to have a similar situation for the WIN generator. But without a doubt, this generator definitely gets the tiny house listing seal of approval. If I was going off grid and I needed a generator, which basically anyone who's off grid is going to need a generator from time to time, even if you have a huge system, There's probably someone out there who says, you know, I don't need a generator. Maybe they dump tens of thousands of dollars into your system. I'm not sure, but this is definitely a companion item that you'll need if you're going off grid. And I think it's probably your best bet, especially if you're in a tiny house, if you have minimal needs. My father, his biggest energy consumption for him is his mini split unit, and this will easily run his mini split unit and everything else in the tiny house. So if you have a tiny house, your energy needs are probably going to be very similar. Even if you have a cabin, house, whatever, you could still get by with this, or two, like I mentioned earlier, with the parallel system where we can have two running at once and double the power. Anyways, that's my review of the Wind 2000 watt generator. They have a 1000 watt one as well, or maybe 1200 watt that's significantly less, but I would go ahead and go with this one and spend a couple $100 more, $150 more, and just not even fool around. And this right here will do everything you need if you're off grid. So thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Dad,
What?
do you like your generator? Do you
Yeah.
like? Okay, good.